This video is about fixing a muffler hanger on a BMW. Many BMWs use this type of hanger on the muffler, and this is the schematics. I'm just gonna hold it for now and explain to you. The E36 M3s use this, E39, E46, E85, 86, E90, E92, E93, and also similar hangers are used on non-AM cars, the E36 type and the 8 Series E31. So what happened is that the exhaust manifold on my daughter's car started making a lot of noise, and on her M3 I decided to repair it. I took the exhaust manifold out and found out that it's cracked, and I am well aware of that problem with those cars, and it usually happens because of the muffler hangers get ripped, and the whole muffler system, the exhaust system, is hanging on the exhaust manifold, and eventually the exhaust manifold cracks. So knowing that, I installed brand new muffler hangers on her car about 10 months ago, and now the exhaust manifold cracked. I welded the exhaust manifold so it's all back on, and I found that those new hangers are in this condition. So these are aftermarket ones. They're cheaper than the original BMW. You can see everything is deteriorated. And I found also that the difference is that the original BMW hanger, the centerpiece is rotating, and aftermarket doesn't, so it kind of bends everything and puts under stress. So I think that's one of the issues with those hangers, the aftermarket ones. But the original ones, they cost about $50 on the M cars, and about $30-40 for the non-M cars, E36. So anyway, I had one of those hangers which I installed, but I couldn't find the other one, and it's Sunday. I couldn't get one in the store. But I remember that about 6-7 years ago I did something similar on my M3, and I look at the hanger and it's still looking pretty strong. It's not broken, it's not ripped. So I decided to go with that project again. So what you're gonna need is your old multi-rib belt of the water pump or air conditioning belt. It's a V multi. It's not a V belt. It's a multi-rib belt. This is the old one that I saved. You can see it's all cracked, but that will work just fine, and it's very strong. And that's what I used on my car about 6-7 years ago, and it's still in good condition. So you're gonna need 2 pieces of this belt, about 8.5 inches long, and all these measurements are from the center. So I started working on it from the center of each piece. You measure all these dimensions here between the holes, and drill a hole in each piece of multi-rib belt. These holes for the rivets, they should go into the second groove from the edge. And once all this drilled, you're gonna need to drill a couple of holes for the rivets in the bracket itself of the original piece. You're going to take a knife and cut all the center piece out, everything out, and take the center, this metal piece from there, and clean all the rubber off. Just cut it off with a knife. So you're just going to have this frame and this plate here that you're going to remove. On the non-M3 cars, the E36 ones, it's a slightly different construction here. This is all one piece, so I'm going to explain to you how to do that also. But on the M3, so the instruments, the tools that you're going to need is the drill with about 1/2 inch size drill bit. You're going to need 8 rivets, 8 washers, a drill bit the size of the rivet, some pliers, the knife, and 2 of these lock-in washers, the 3/4 size, and you're gonna need to bend them back and flatten them like this so it's all flat piece. I'll explain to you later why we need that. And you need another extra washer, but the size of the bolt that goes into the mount in the center of the hanger, and it should be slightly bigger than the inside diameter of the locking washer. So here's the thing. I have already one that I completed. You drill a couple of holes here on each side, and then you use that multi-rib belt. You're gonna start with the center part, not mounted right away inside the frame. So what you do is you drill those holes here, put the belts to those pieces together, and rivet them together with the ribs going inside. And then you put the centerpiece in here. Once this is done, you can start mounting this the center part into the frame. So again, you drill the holes and you put some rivets in here with the washers so it holds in place. Okay, once that is done, you're gonna stick the other ends of the multi-rib belt between the top bracket piece and the body and install this reinforcer. The non-M3 cars and 8 series cars, they don't have the reinforcer, and like as I said, it's one piece, so you're gonna have to use the rivets to rivet this, attach this to the frame of the exhaust hanger. So I also use some of this glue before I put the rivets in, and that will reinforce this whole construction and reduce the vibration and pressure on the rivets. It's best to use stainless steel washers and the stainless steel rivets or aluminum rivets so it doesn't get rust on it. And after it's all completed, I'm also going to cover it with that glue, so there's less chances of rusting inside the washers and the rivets. Once this is complete, you can enlarge the holes with this larger drill, the quarter inch size drill, so to install it easier on the car. Just enlarge the holes in this direction, just about the same as the metal reinforcer. And on this side here, where you put the multi-rib belt between the top portion of the bracket and the bracket itself, you're gonna have to cut some of these ribs off, about 1.5 inches or so. Just take a knife and slice those ribs off, so it's just a thin belt without any ribs. That will be easier to install that in between those two brackets. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's kind of hard to see, but I don't have those ribs in there. But these ribs are okay to have in there. They'll work well and reduce the vibration too. So when this is all done, you take those locking washers, you put one on each side like that, and then you take the smaller washer and the bolt and install it like this. This will hold that centerpiece from sliding around, and then you can attach this bracket, the mounting bracket, back to the mount, to the hanger, I'm sorry. So, and this whole assembly is ready to go to be installed. So again, I'm gonna show you this schematic so you can copy the dimensions. When you drill through the exhaust hanger bracket, you need to use a center punch or something to punch the metal through. This is very thin piece in here, about 1/2 inch in size. It's not as big as the rubber around it. So those two rivets, they're right in the center of this bracket, and the reason I'm using two to reduce the rotation of the belt, multi-rib belt inside the frame of the bracket. So this is all done. It's ready to go back on the car. That's it.